Yeah, there is, Andy, and it's all about digital transformation. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. But before I go there, let me tell everybody: you've listened to Andy, you've listened to Collins. They're spot on. The bottom line, just very, very quickly, to understand what's happening here. If you don't work, you don't eat. It's as simple as that. If you don't work, you don't eat. You're not going to reap any of the benefits of OnPassive. OnPassive, everybody looks at that second part of it, passive, passive, passive. OnPassive is not passive. You have to come in and do the things that Mr. Mufara asked you to do it in his time frame, not yours, and from there you're going to be fine, because OnPassive will go to work for you. Digital transformation, it is what OnPassive is. It's the whole essence of OnPassive, at least the AI IT part of OnPassive, the online digital transformation of OnPassive. And as you bring all of these features together on one platform, and people can come in and use the products of OnPassive on one platform, the first thing that all of these products do is they're interconnected. They talk to each other. And what it does for the individuals that work online, personal, business, government, whoever you are, all of a sudden your life online becomes much, much easier. I know Ash talked about O-Staff the other day, and O-Staff is an HR product, and there's so many complicated things in that product to manage a staff of a business, medium, small, large, or governments. Sometimes the words don't come out as quickly as my mind is putting them there. There's so much involved to manage those individuals. You can hardly comprehend what's involved with that. But if you look at companies that have an HR department, that are managing that HR department today, they probably use 5 or 6 or 7 different programs to manage all their people, whether it's 20, whether it's 200, whether it's 2,000, 20,000. It takes that many apps or products online to manage that. What OnPassive has done, and this gives you an idea of how it's going to work for all of us, whatever you do online. But the HR department, OnPassive, is bringing all of those things online in one place that people can go, and it becomes much, much easier to manage the HR department of that particular company or whatever, government, whatever it is. And when you start to think about digital transformation, it can be either very, very small or it can be massive. And when you think about digital transformation and you think about companies trying to get into the digital age, having that digital transformation, I think a year or 2 years ago, and Collins has heard this number, you probably have too, Andy. 1 year, businesses spent over $1 trillion doing the digital transformation that they wanted to do for their company. And of that $1 trillion, 800 billion of it was just flushed down the toilet. They could not do it. That's really, really important to understand. They could not do it. And because of what Ash and his team is doing, because of what OnPassive has done, now they can come into OnPassive, do that digital transformation. It makes their lives easier. It makes their business easier. Every aspect of their business online becomes easier, and their bottom line becomes way, way better. That's the most important part. It's why companies and people do a digital transformation online. It's the bottom line. How is it going to affect my bottom line? How much more money am I going to make? It's like you and I. How much are we going to make with OnPassive? We can talk about that maybe later, but yeah, you want to make quite a bit. So do these companies. And especially if they're in the red and they can do a digital transformation and all of a sudden become even or in the black, they're just going to do it. So what does that do for OnPassive? What does that do for you and I? Businesses, just for this one product, O-Staff, businesses are just going to flock in. They're just going to flock into OnPassive. And we haven't talked about some of the other products that they'll come in and look at these products and go, where have you been all my life? That's OnPassive. That's why OnPassive is going to go viral. That's why you can't even imagine how big OnPassive is going to get. But yeah, it's all about digital transformation.